The World Juniors is my favorite hockey tournament. I like it better than the Olympics. I honestly, at times, like it. No, I don't know if I like it better than the Stanley Cup final. It's just so cool to see like young stars. One of my favorite things about the World Juniors is like there's players on teams that I don't follow very much, like Finland and Czech, that I don't know how good they are. And then when they get in the NHL and they start dominating, I go back and look, and I'm like, wow, Finland had Aho and Rantanen on the same World Juniors team, and it's cool to see like the players before they develop really hard, but. What are your general thoughts on Canada throughout the tournament?
I want to be completely honest with you. I didn't watch much of this.
What?
I didn't, because it's in the middle of summer and I was busy, and summertime is just not hockey time in my mental agenda. But I did try and follow along, and every time I sort of checked in on Twitter, checked in on like TSN Sports Center, whatever. Always heard Mason McTavish. I heard Bedard, but McTavish, like I knew he was good. We talked about it, but my God. He had 17 points and 8 goals in 7 games. And that ridiculous play on the line yesterday in overtime to basically win them the gold medal. What a beast this guy is. He literally looks like he just wakes up, doesn't even care about his beard, doesn't care about his hair, just wakes up and he just plays hockey.
I love it.
It's crazy.
I love it. He had the record 4 goals in 1 game, too. I think he was 1 point shy of the World Juniors Canadian record.
That's nuts.
If you can get this, I'll give you $100.
It's not fair because I saw it yesterday. I actually can't remember the name. I know it's some greasy guy, though.
Don't worry about the old guy. What's the recent guy right now that holds the record?
Oh, jeez. Can you give me a year?
Hold on one second. Mason McTavish finished 1 point behind player X. Currently plays in the West in the NHL. Canadian center.
Canadian center. I can't get a year. Is that too easy? If you give me a year,
I don't know the year that. I don't know the year that Braden.
I
don't know the year that Braden Shen did it, but would you be able to take a guess as to who it was? Would you have thought Braden?
No,
Shen
I wouldn't know.
Like what? I don't remember Braden Shen ever being that good, and it's weird because I watched the World Juniors as a kid all the time, and when a guy like Mason McTavish does what he does, you don't forget that.
No, yeah, I don't. I guess Shen was just a demon in junior. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, McTavish was named the MVP of the tournament. Canada went undefeated, was by far the best team in the tournament, and I'm kind of happy that they blew that lead in the third period only to win it, just because I think it adds. I think it makes the tournament mean a little bit more to the Canadians. They really didn't face a hard team. They didn't have a hard game the entire the entire tournament. They never faced the Americans, and Czech did them a huge favor in having that huge knockout, that upset. They needed to face some adversity. They finally got it. And I don't even think this is a hot take. That might be the best play of Mason McTavish's career, even if he turns out to be one of the best players in the NHL. The ability under that pressure to stop a puck that wasn't fanned on. It was a good shot. He bats it down. He tips it, bats it down, and keeps it out. And then the play goes the other way and they score. Not only that, it was from a guy who was already the MVP of the tournament on the biggest stage. I mean, it might turn out to be the most iconic play in World Juniors history next to Jordan Eberle, or maybe even above Jordan Eberle.
One of them, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's... I originally when I saw the replay, I thought it was on the ice.
Yeah.
Because I saw the overhead camera first, and I was like, oh wow, that's a great play. He stopped it on the ice, and then when they switch it to like a regular camera, I was like, oh my God, he batted that out of the air, and then they go on to score. That's just that's pretty iconic.
I remember when they scored the goal, and then they were going to check. It's not called VAR. I don't know what it's called.
Like video replay.
Replay. And I was like, oh, was there a goalie interference on the Canada goal? I didn't even know. I didn't even realize what he had done. And then they go back and show that he batted it down. I'm like, oh, I can't believe that he made that play. But good for him. But I mean, it was pretty ezy for McTavish to steal the show. But let's not forget about Connor Bedard.
Yeah, he had a pretty good tournament.
17. He's playing against 21-year-olds.
Yeah, he got 8 points in 7 games. Yeah, the 17-year-old. That's nothing to sniff at.
Consensus number 1 overall pick.
Oh, yeah. I think he's been since he's like 13. Yeah. And I don't know. These phenoms.
What's crazy is they said that about Shane Wright, too. And then this is what happened. But there's no chance this happens to Bedard.
Bedard just seems like he's built a little bit different. He's just so fast and smooth. I don't know if you've seen that goal. I think he was playing in Calgary.
Through his legs?
Dirty.
I
don't like you don't just do that. Like, no. regular players don't do that.
What even that tells me is that just he has a level of confidence, like the ability to have what's the correct way to say it? It's like to have the guts to make that play on that stage just shows you have such confidence in your game. I mean, I don't know. The one thing that I also took away from this tournament, or not took away, but had a question I wanted to ask you about is like Canada did all of this without their full roster, right? Because Shane Wright and Owen Power were there in last December. Or am I wrong?
Shane Wright was for sure. Owen Power might have been too because he didn't start with the Sabres until like the latter half of it, so he might have been there. Yeah,
imagine if those two guys were here, it would have been even more destruction. I'm kind of like, why do you think those two didn't come to this tournament? Like, you think the organizations didn't let them go?
Yeah, I wonder if it was that. Well, Owen Power's an NHLer now, so maybe, and I guess Shane Wright won't be. So McTavish though, so I don't know.
I think McTavish played 5 games this year.
Yeah, he'll play next year, but maybe it was just I don't want to risk getting hurt. I don't want to. If they've had a long year, maybe they didn't want to make sure they're rested for training camp. I'm sure there was a multitude of reasons, but they didn't need them anyway. So.
It's so weird, especially as an organization of a hockey team. I would think playing in that tournament under those high stakes would be a better training camp for these kids than going to training camp.
That's fair.
Right?
Yeah, you can make that argument all day.
It would put them in crazy form, and the World Juniors is a very, very important tournament to players. Like, you'll even see Sidney Crosby. Like I remember that team. It was Crosby. I think Subban was on that team as well.
This team was studded.
Right? Those guys still, like, even with all the cups that Sidney Crosby has won, he still looks back on that World Juniors, and I know because he talks about it all the time, is how important that tournament was to him.
Yeah.
I have a hard time believing that, like, Shane Wright and Owen Power didn't want to go.
Yeah.
I kind of think it was the organization that said no. I don't really understand why they would do that, considering how important this tournament could be, like, developmentally for these players coming into this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot to gain. I just maybe some teams are scared, like, when I think Tavares hurt himself at the Olympics one year. I think Willie got a concussion at a World Juniors when he was playing. I guess there is risk. There's risk associated with anything though, so I don't know. I guess it's every franchise or organization is different, because some franchises who had clear NHL players on their roster let them go. So maybe it's like a different thing. Each organization has a different way of thinking, but yeah, tons of value for these guys.
The last thing I'll say is, do you like the fact that overtime was 3-on-3?
Yeah, I kind of like. Maybe I've heard the argument. I kind of understand it. Whether it's like a gold medal or if it's like a Stanley Cup, like you're doing the playoffs, like keep it 5-on-5. But 3-on-3 is so fun to watch.
It was fun to watch, especially because those kids are so like quick and fiery. I don't know, but I don't want to sound like an old timer, but I feel like winning on 3-on-3 doesn't represent the same.
You think?
Yeah, it's not even a gimmick. It's just it takes a different skill level to win 3-on-3 than it does to win 5-on-5. And if the whole tournament is rewarding a team with their ability to win at even strength, 3-on-3, I mean, it just seems like if one team is far worse than the other, and then they go 3-on-3, and that worst team happens to have the 2 quickest players in the tournament, like, they're now probably favorites to win it.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content, and find the link to our full podcast and all our socials in the description down below.
Also, don't forget to turn on those notifications to get live updates on new videos that we release.